or a kid?
Adult.
So draw a quick stick figure of the adult in there. If you can't fit them in your America, just put them on the side. It's not just adults that volunteer. Also, in addition to adults, we also have kids. Thank you. So draw a kid figure. Okay, so that stick figure represents adults or kids?
Kids.
Say kid volunteers.
Kid volunteers.
Okay, and so sometimes these kids draw a little thought bubble out there. They have an idea. So put an exclamation mark in their thought bubble like, the kid is having an idea. Is this kid having an idea or is that kid sleeping?
Idea.
That kid's having an idea, right? And sometimes it's just a really simple idea, but from that simple idea, and then they go and they do what? Do they volunteer or do they get paid?
Volunteer.
Eyes up here, please. Woo. They volunteer, and you know what? From kids even, you could end up having, from kids volunteering with their simple idea, that idea impacts all over the America. So start drawing arrows. Bring it from the kid's head. Okay? All over America. Pull it from the kid's head. So the kid's idea and volunteering is impacting all over America and even around the world. So actually, I keep forgetting. Draw it from the kid's head because it's the kid who's doing it. So can just adults volunteer, yes or no?
No.
Can kids volunteer, yes or no?
Yes.
Can kids have positive and help the world have positive change from volunteering, yes or no?
Yes.
If you're a kid, raise your hand. So you guys could make positive change by doing what?
Volunteer.
Let's say volunteering.
Volunteering.
Thank you. All right, let's go to our story. Open up to page 213. What page is it?
213.
Thank you so much. I like the way this table is rocking and ready. Very nice. Excellent job over here. Also excellent work being ready. Thank you. Oh, nice. You know what? Mrs. S., where are you? These fourth graders, they perform like sixth graders.
I know.
They're just like
awesome.
they're ready, they're on it, they're working hard. You guys could almost pass for sixth graders. I'm very impressed. All right, here we go. Our title is on the left side here. It says partaking. Fingers left-hand page. So put your finger on the word partaking. My turn, you point. Partaking in public service. Fingers under partaking, voices together.
Partaking in public service.
Public service is another way to say volunteer. So what does public service mean?
Volunteer.
We can do an aside like that. Fingers under the word there. Oh, you were ready. Nice job. My turn, you point. My turn, please. There is no doubt about it. Volunteering is an important part of
America.
That's American, folks. Say that again.
American
life. About 27% of us
Volunteer.
in some way. This means that one
American
out of every 4 is performing, give me 2 words,
public service.
Many volunteers are teens and
Children.
In fact, in the last
20
years, the number of teen volunteers in this country has
Doubled.
Youth service organizations such as 4-H clubs have grown in, do you know that last big word?
Popularity.
You guys are so smart. All right. What's the author want us to know just from that first paragraph? What's the author want us to know? You start. Tell me something. What's the author want us to know in there?
The author wants us to know there are volunteers are
Their volunteers are what? Their children? Nice! Volunteers are children. Thank you. What else the author want us to know?
The number of teens have doubled. The number of teens that volunteer have doubled.
That's really nice. Now, that's great. Tell me that in your own words. Say, I think that means.
I think that means that the number of volunteers
Who are
teens have doubled.
What's that mean? Doubled means like less or more?
More.
More. Very nice. Anything else? What else does the author want us to know there? You tell me something. In here, what did you learn? What's the author want us to know? All right, excellent. Lots of volunteers are teenagers and children. What else? Let me see some hands. Who else has something they can tell me? Go ahead, Mika.
There's about 27 of us that volunteer in a different way.
So find that word 20. See, I'm tempted to go deep. Okay, are there just, so here's how I'm going to handle it. Fourth graders. Are there only 27 Americans that volunteer, or is it 27% of all Americans that volunteer? Everybody?
27%.
27% of all Americans. Got it? So that's a lot. Somebody else had a hand up. Was it you? Anybody else? Anything else the author wants us to know there? You, buddy, you had it, right? Or did they already say yours? She got it. Okay. All right. Next job. Okay. Fingers under kids. My turn, you point. Kids join volunteer groups to give back to their
Communities.
They work together to help and to improve their
Schools.
And
Neighborhoods.
Thank you. Community projects may include planting,
Gardens.
or collecting
Food.
and clothing. Some kids raise
Money.
for local charities. The volunteer opportunities are
Limitless.
So let me hear that word. Limitless.
Limitless.
Excellent. What else are we learning here? Start us off.
Kids join
Kids join, you want to say groups or organizations? So tell them, kids,
groups.
to do what? Volunteer. Nice. So say the whole thing for me. Kids,
Join groups to volunteer.
really nice. Tell me something else, Miha. Go ahead.
That
Nice and loud because I'm old.
they work together to improve their school.
And who's they? Kids or adults?
Kids and adults.
Nice. Oh, very good. What were you going to say, hon? She got it. Oh, next time you're first, I promise. What were you going to say?
There are lots of ways to volunteer.
Really good. Anybody else? Something that they're there. Tell me. Who's they?
Kids volunteer planting gardens or collecting food and clothing.
Nice. Excellent. What else?
Some kids raise money for local charities.
Nice. What else? Oh, you guys are fabulous. All right. We're going to stop right there. Now, we're going to pretend that we read this whole story. Okay? We just read this whole story. Now, everybody go home. Like this. Go home. Eat your dinner. Go to sleep. All right, you're sleeping, right? Wake up. It's the next day. Okay? So we're in the next day. We're going to read this again like you do with Mrs. S, right? Okay, blah, blah, blah. We did some stuff up here. Yeah. Fingers under partaking. We're going back to the beginning. Fingers under partaking. Question, bud?
We're on Saturday.
Oh, no! We're coming to school. Fingers under partaking. Yeah, it's gonna be a long weekend. Fingers under partaking. My turn, you point. Partaking in public service. Fingers under partaking, voices together.
Partaking in public service.
Fingers under there. My turn, you point. There is no doubt about it. Volunteering is an important part of
American.
Oh, I love how you had that N on there. American. Good. Life. About 27% of us
Volunteer.
in some way. That means that one American out of every 4 is performing a, 2 words,
Public service.
Many volunteers are teens and
Children.
In fact, in the last
20 years.
20 years, the number of teen volunteers in this country has
Doubled.
Youth service
Organizations.
such as 4-H clubs have grown in
Popularity.
Nice job. Fingers back up on there, voices together.
There is no doubt about it. Volunteering is an important part of our American life.
Time out. When we get to the periods, just make sure you stop for a second. So fingers under volunteering. So after every period, I want to hear just a little space of silence. Fingers under volunteering, voices together.
Volunteering is an important part of American life.
Stop. Go. About
27% of us volunteer in some way.
A little crazy on that one. Let me model that again. It's fingers under about. Listen to me. About 27% of us. Okay, so read that part again.
About 27% of us
Keep going.
volunteer in some way. This means that 1 American out of every 4 is performing a public service. Many volunteers are teens and children. In fact, in the last 20 years, the number of teen volunteers in this country has doubled. Youth service organizations such as 4-H clubs have grown in popularity.
Okay, so I got a question for you, fourth graders, all right? So I'm going to ask this question 2 ways. Tell me about volunteers in America, okay? And then I'm going to ask you to describe volunteering in America. It's the same thing. So do you guys have do they have
Cookies and milk.
Okay, cookies, raise your hand. If you're cookies, raise your hand. Okay, cookies, repeat after me. Describe volunteering in America.
Describe volunteering in America.
Milk, raise your hand. Repeat after me. Here's how your answer is going to start. Volunteering in America.
Volunteering in America.
And then you're going to talk about it. Okay, so cookies, raise your hand again. Repeat after me. Describe volunteering in America.
Describe volunteering in America.
Ask Milk that right now. Just say, or ask him to do that. Describe. Go ahead.
Describe volunteering in America.
So you're going to say volunteering in America is it. Okay, so answer him. I need to see, so let's try this again. Let's try this again. Okay, so some of you guys are going right off and you know what you do, but I think I need to explain it better. So, do we know some stuff about volunteering in America? Yeah. Do we know who volunteers in America?
Yeah.
Do we know what they do, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's try that again. Cookies, raise your hand. Say, describe volunteering in America.
Describe volunteering in America.
Milk, raise your hand. Say, volunteering in America is, or let's say, I don't want to say is, volunteering in America can be, let's do it like that. Volunteering in America can be.
Volunteering in America can be.
Okay, so you guys now, Cookies, raise your hand and say, describe volunteering in America. And then,
Describe volunteering in America.
and then Milk, answer them. Volunteering in America can be like, who does it? What do they do? You know, so tell them. Okay. Raise your hand if you, when you in your partnership, if you talked about that it could be teenagers or kids that volunteer. Raise your hand if you talked about that. See, that's really important because some people would think, is it just adults? But can children and teens volunteer? Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. So that's important to know. The author wants us to know that. What did I do in my book? Does anybody see right? It's not a book. It's a. Thank you, darling. Appreciate you. Raise your hand if you talked about, and I probably didn't get you to this, but so I'm going to ask you this question. Has the number of teens volunteering in America grown to be more or less? Everybody?
More.
In fact, it's not just more. Has it tripled or doubled?
Double.
The number of teens has doubled, right? Okay, and so, let's see, let's do this. Oh, we're good. Milk, raise your hand. And repeat after me, Milk. What are some examples, repeat,
What are some examples
of kids volunteering?
of kids volunteering?
Now we're going to say the whole thing in one breath, Milk. Or is it milk or cookies? I forgot.
Milk.
Milk. Okay, so Milk, get ready. What are some examples of kids volunteering? Repeat.
What are some examples of
Kids volunteering. ask that right now to cookies. I can't remember whose cookies it was. Ask them right now. What are some examples of kids volunteering?
What are some examples of kids volunteering?
Class.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so suppose I said kids can't volunteer. I don't think kids can do anything. Can you provide me with some evidence from the text that shows that indeed kids do volunteer? What is some evidence from the text that you can quote to me that says, yeah, kids do some things, some important stuff? See if you can find some evidence in the text. Can you find some, my man?
Yeah.
Tell me what page you're on. 213, and what paragraph? First or second? Are you up here or down here? All right, go ahead. Read it. Tell me then. Go ahead.
Many volunteers are teens and children.
Perfect. More evidence. You got some more? What else?
Kids raise money for
Keep looking for evidence. Charities, isn't it?
charities.
That's like poor people, right? More evidence.
Community projects may include hunting, gardens, or
But that's adults. Is it adults? Are they talking about adults there or kids? All right, thank you. More evidence. Tell me. Nice and loud, Mijo. I can't hear.
The last 20 years, the number of teams volunteering has doubled.
Nice. Any more evidence? Was that what you were going to say? One of you guys had your hands up. All right. Nice work, fourth grade. Thank you so much. I learned some stuff from you guys today. Very nice work.